Hey guys, welcome to another Throwback Thursday where I play homage to the games of the past. This happens to be Kerbal Space Program, the dates of June 18, 2015 to June 20, 2015. And I am making a modular design for refueling pods for a lander that's eventually going to land on the moon, which is the game's equivalent to the real moon. This game, at this point, I'm probably less than 30 hours in, so I'm still pretty new at the game, but I have been trained by my chats in the Kerbal Space Program community, which I am greatly thankful for, teaching me the game and showing me the ropes. This is the design that I got with the level 1, level 2 parts, I believe. And it's a basic design. I'm playing career mode on moderate settings. So career mode, you have to progress through a tier system where you can collect money or kerbal bucks and science to upgrade your parts. These are the only parts that I have. So one important thing that I needed was a docking port, monopropellant, and ways to translate to be able to dock in space. So this is a very exciting mission. This might have been my first time or second time doing this. Three, two, one, launch. Usually my launches start with the no-go calls that I happen to listen to. NASA released a bunch of their audio files that are free for public use, royalty free. And those I studied recently, learning the official lingo so that I can impress my Twitch chat. But there are I later found out a lot of the people that watched me were actually people from the industry, space industry, and they knew, it made sense, they knew a lot about how space works. And I'm glad that they were there to teach me the It's one of the toughest skills in the game, to dock with a object that's moving and being able to meet with it. So the center thing that turns orange and blue is the nav ball, and that thing took me a while to figure out. The first time that I tried docking, I used it visually, but at this point, I believe I've started using the navigation ball and the visual aid. So I was using both and made for some interesting maneuvers. That was me undocking a part and redocking it so that it looks, or it's in the right order. It's kind of like an Apollo style mission, except that I did all the redocking in orbit of Urban, or the Earth equivalent. So the ultimate goal is to land this thing in the moon, which is the moon's equivalent in this game. It's spelled M-U-N, Mike Uniform November. Here I am docking another part. I make it look easy, but it is actually pretty difficult the first time you do it. The more you do it, the more you can figure out your spatial awareness. Here I am spinning around. So yeah, I think I was still pretty new because I would have definitely docked this by now. But I am looking at where the other object is being positioned. But you have to think in three-dimensional or different axis, axi, how do you say it? And be able to line them up. So that was challenging. And we got soft up. I gotta tell you, when you dock for the first time, it's an exhilarating experience. It's like you've reached a monumental skill or vision, and then when you do it over and over, that one thing that you tried doing or is the most challenging or nerve-wracking is possibly the most rewarding, because you have to deal with so many things. You gotta watch your speed, watch your orientation, and make sure you're pointed at solar panels so that you can still control the craft. If that runs out, then you're in trouble. I've done docking in the dark. That kind of makes me nervous. This was before I started doing the reusable program. I often eject my extra parts to go down. Oh, I actually did add parachutes to that, so I think I did start the reusable program early on in my career. Kind of impressed. So if this is under 30 hours, then yeah, this is definitely, because I would have known that I was top heavy for this rocket. So this was before there was automated fuel balancing, which is in later in the game. I believe I'm playing a very early version of this game. So they did come with regular updates. They're still doing updates, and there's KSP 2 coming out. Can't wait for that. But it was difficult in the If at first you don't succeed, you try and try again. And look, I solved our I didn't. I think there's a certain way I could fly it. The drag was pulling me down. So I think I pushed through and did a reduced. So if I go past a certain speed, it will cause so much drag that it pushes my nose down and causes me to be unstable. So if I'm below a certain speed, it allows me to push through the atmosphere in a nominal rate. I think that's how I did that. And I'm going to dock and refuel this lander that I have. Here we go again, we're on approach, several meters down. I also make the calls when I do the docking maneuvers, the translation maneuvers. It sounded all official on the stream. I think that's what made people like watching. Well, it's probably most of them watched because I was new and I made mistakes, and these people are very knowledgeable, so they were very quick to contribute. Again, I'm thankful. Anyway, I'd really like to know if you enjoy these Throwback Thursday videos. I got a few comments that these are possibly way too long for time-lapse, but these are 3 days worth of videos, and it does reach out to 30 minutes, and it does take me like 48 to maybe 48 hours to 3 days to render this video, because I do have an aging laptop. The thing is, when I heard the audio, I was playing some music that might get flagged on YouTube, so I removed part. I didn't start recording voice only until I figured it out much later, and by then there was going to be a hurricane that would destroy my computer. But anyway, back to the game. We're doing another launch. I believe we're prepping to go to the moon. Not sure why I'm spinning here. Am I going back into kerbal atmosphere? Sometimes when you spin, you increase the drag if you're in the atmosphere. Wait, I have a guy in there. I'm actually not sure why I did that. Somebody probably asked me to do barrel rolls? I'm not sure. I can listen. And we have left off. I believe this is the next day as my head got bigger. I'm no longer a little kerbal. So that tiny head was a kerbal thing. I believe my chat gave me some feedback that they wanted to see more facial expressions or grimacing when I do some weird maneuvers. And that's the nature of Twitch, you know. When it's live, you get this feedback that's right away. But you can leave a comment below if you do enjoy these kind of videos. I'm really interested to hear, or you can suggest how I might edit this video. I'm still learning the YouTube stuff, so anything you give me would be pretty good feedback. trying to do a dock in the dark side of the planet. This was before I discovered you could change the ambient lighting of the game, which some people think it's cheating. But I eventually added lights to my my vehicles so that I could point and look at what I'm doing. It's also a necessity when you're doing space stations, but I don't believe I got to that point yet. Still early in this. Here we go, transferring the fuel where it needs to go, and I went to get fuel myself, I believe. I don't know, I went to get my glasses because I can hardly see these days. So the years that I've been recovering, my eyesight has been going down. Not sure if it's a related thing, but I used to have 20/15 vision. Now it's degrading. So although I am acutely farsighted, though I can see extremely far distances, but anything up close is kind of blurry. So I do need to wear glasses. This is our trajectory for the moon. It's pretty exciting when you do it the first time. There is a point in my later career of this game that I do not use the transfer NEDs anymore. I can actually do it blind. The calculations that I've been doing in my head, or I used to use an Excel spreadsheet, but when I was doing it at Twitch, and because time is of the essence, I learned how to do it in my head. There we go, recircularized, and I gotta pick a landing spot that's not in the dark area. And we got Kerbal doing a spacewalk, collecting signs, and now I'm picking a landing site and making sure it's right in the light. It's pretty challenging, but I believe started doing well in landings. They're crashing a couple times. Of course, the chat thinks it's funny. And when I worked on it in a different or lower gravity satellite, these structures are called satellites because they orbit around the planet. That's when I got better at landing. Here we are, we're watching the landing side, doing a barrel roll for victory. We're on approach, we're lowering our speed, cutting it down. Suicide burn. We call it a suicide burn because I think I redid it. So you could see, I believe I'm still pretty new, or earlier hours of this career. But yeah, I believe I was showing the different planets I could go to for newcomers. A bunch of new people that started showing up, learning with me how to play the game. So I gotta say, it's not an easy game to learn, but it's definitely, once you do learn it, it feels like an accomplishment. Here we're going for a soft. There we go. It's a little wobbly, but we did it. This thing is designed to go back up. So I'm collecting signs, conducting signs, going around, jumping, and planting my flag, I believe. I hope I plant my flag. And then jumping again, making a screenshot. You see that logo? It's a man in a business suit doing a push-up. That is my flag. Yeah, there we go. We're jumping up and down, and we're gonna lift off and heading back home. I'm going to circularize first, and then to cancel out or to return back, you have to cancel out the forward momentum you have from that body in relation to the place that you're landing. Sounds kind of convoluted. It sounds kind of complex or a mouthful to say for landing, but think about it. So if all you have to do is put on the brakes. You're in a moving car, putting on the brakes, and then hopefully you land soft. Before we return, I am low on fuel, so those modular things that I designed are docking and refueling my thing. I believe I bring it with me when I destroy it when it's the atmosphere. There is a magic number to return back to kerbal. I do not remember what it is at this point. It's been a while and the game changes so much. Here we go. We're heading back. I believe I'm collecting more science while I'm leaving these different areas, reading the measurements, instruments. Science is good for upgrading, so. And we got touchdown. No, that was a bad landing, but it works. There's a way to collect the stuff that fell with a button, and I believe that's what it replaced. In reality, there's a search screw that goes to the site and collects. That's usually what happens. So I'm upgrading the signs. I eventually get some nicer parts, larger parts. I believe I do my next mission here, which is a habitat, I believe. I have to put kerbals into space. I think that was the mission. So here we got signs, we got all that stuff. I was trying to sandwich it between two rockets, I believe, or two large fuel tanks. Not sure how this flew, but it tells me it's really unbalanced. So it might work. I did get nicer parts. So the big parts do get expensive. I don't know. Spare no expense, someone said. Just kidding. I'm actually pretty when I do my space program, I try to make things recoverable and make things affordable. So whenever I launch something, I don't like wasting money. So my designs are kind of simple. Eventually, when I do this space stations, I get I believe this is the third day because I changed my shirt. So I think I streamed an average 3-4 hours a night after I came home from work. I would be pretty tired, but I'd still I enjoyed the game so much I wanted to play it for people. We have liftoff of another large rocket. So I'm rendezvousing with I believe this is to rescue guys, There are pods in there. There are some kerbals that are stranded on the orbit to go rescue them. I believe that's why I have all those crew. I have crew support on my vehicle. I think I'm redesigning it. So now I have a habitat. Oh no, I left that thing in space. I am making a lander to plan for the next mission probably. It's pretty challenging to create something that eventually flies to a destination. Once again, this game is something that once you figure something out, it's the most rewarding feeling. I believe those legs are way too small and will probably crack under pressure, under a lot of stress, not pressure. I'm not actually sure how this fares. Let's see how this plays. RCS things for translation so that I can dock with something. This might have been a multiple mission. Like one was to refuel and the other is to rescue kerbals. And then the last one is to land on the moon. There's some missions I could do. Well, anyway, that's all the time that we have. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's great to do this homage to the past. Once again, if you do like the content, please let me know in the comments below. You can always consider subscribing to my channel, liking, following, and dinging the bell. And I'll see you in 3 days. This is John Nezodam, signing out. Everybody, be safe. Remember, you're essential. Take care.